So there are quite a few vegetables and flowers that like to climb that you're going to want to add to your garden, and that means that they need something to climb up. You can buy an obelisk, a trellis, or even one of these arches that I have back here, but they can be really expensive to buy. So in today's video, I wanted to show you 3 different climbing options that you can build yourself super cheap, generally with things that you have in your garden or you can get for not very much money, so that way you can grow these plants like pole beans, or I'm growing sweet potatoes up there, or cucumbers, or anything that needs to climb, and you don't have to break the bank doing it. If you're new here, my name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada, and I garden in Ottawa Zone 5. And today I want to give you these options so that way you can grow food and you don't have to break the bank doing it, because I don't think that you need fancy options in order to grow food. There's tons of ways that you can do this with items around your house, or things that you can buy from a dollar store, or that you can just get pieces from Home Depot, for example, or any other hardware store. So these 3 options aren't going to cost very much. In fact, I'll actually look up the products online so that way I can give you an actual cost over top of them as I'm building them with you, so that way you know the true cost of them. And with that, let's get into these 3 different options. Okay, so you can see here that I do have a metal trellis here, and I have one cucumber that is close to the trellis, and then I have a cucumber over here that isn't anywhere near the trellis, and another one over here. So I do need to come up with ways for these cucumbers to grow. And I personally find this could just be for me, that as soon as these plants and their tendrils have something to catch onto, that you can really see that they grow a lot faster. And so I do want to make sure that they have something to grow up in order to be able to hook onto them and keep growing. So I am going to build something for this tomato here, and then I'll build a separate one for over here, and that way I can help bring them over to this one trellis, so as they continue to grow, they finally can connect over here. Okay, so we're gonna start with the most classic of all of them, and that is using sticks to make a teepee. Now you can get these stakes at Canadian Tire, Home Depot, or a Lowe's, or any of your garden centers. And you can get 6-foot stakes for usually under $10. But you can also use different things like old sunflower stalks. Once you're growing sunflowers from the year before, they make for a really good staking item for the following year. So that's a really good way to use them without having to break the bank. And so this is really simple to do. You're just going to put them in on an angle around your plant, with the main goal of it coming in at the center here at the top. And of course you can add in a lot more than 3, but that's how many I have on me. And then you are going to take sisal rope like this, and you can tie it up at the top just to make it look nice, bringing it all together here. And then because this is a cucumber and it likes to climb, what I'm going to do is I'm slowly just going to loosely add a bunch of the sisal rope around it, so it just has more access points to grab onto as it's growing. And you can weave in the middle of it. You don't have to just go around, you can play around with it. And this is just the main goal, is to give the tendrils something to climb up. And then if you wanted to, you can also plant beans around the base of it as well. But I like to go through the center of it just because there is more access for it to grab onto. And there is a tendril right here, so I just want to make sure that my piece of rope matches up to it. And then I am going to knot it up. And the only reason I haven't cut it off is because I don't have my cutters on me. They are somewhere. And then I'm just gonna do a knot. And then I'm gonna cut this off, and this is now ready to start climbing up. Okay, so the next option requires 2 tomato cages, and it seems that everybody has tomato cages at home, or there's people in the neighborhood that are always giving these away. They are very common to find and not very expensive to buy, especially these older varieties. And so what you're gonna do is you're going to pick your plant and you're going to put 1 tomato cage around it like this, and just get it in as deep as you can. And then from here, you're going to take the second tomato cage and you're going to put it on top of the first one. So you can use zip ties for this, but I just try and avoid using too much plastic in the garden. So I am going to use sisal rope, and I'm just going to wrap it around as many times as I can before I run out and need to knot it. Of course, there's some finesse to having this balanced. If there's 2 of you, then I recommend doing this with 2 people, just so that way it doesn't fall over on you. And try not to poke your eyes out with it. And then just do a second one like this. And just like that, it's now secure. And now, same as this version, if you wanted to, you can pinch these together on the top and you can tie it up if you want just that specific look. And then you'll do the same thing again. You can take your sisal rope and you'll just tie it onto one part of the cage here. Actually, I'm gonna do it right at the top here so that way it can't slide down. Put a knot in. And then you're going to do exactly the same thing, and you're going to start weaving it around just so that way your plant has something to hang on to. Now your cucumber or whatever vining plant you have has all this space to grow up, and I'm going to be able to connect it to my trellis here. Now, before we get into the last option for trellising, I did want to mention that I have a self-paced gardening course, and it's all about building a stronger garden with all of the wild weather we're experiencing, from heavy rains to hail to wildfires. This is all on how to build a stronger garden. It includes lectures, videos, and workbooks that you can take with you, plus 101 actionable tips in it, because I find theory to be somewhat helpful, but I actually need action. So I made sure to put action items in this course for you. So you can get access to it and see a free preview of it using the link below. So you can sign up, get a lecture for free, see what it's all about, and then you can decide if you want to go ahead and get it. But it's going to help you make sure that you secure your harvest for all of the years in the future, because at this point, we really need to make sure that we can take care of ourselves and grow our own food. All right, let's get back into this video. So I don't actually have this one set up for this year, but this is what I've done in the past. I've taken 2x2 pieces of wood, but really you can use any type of wood. And I have one on each side, and then I have netting that's attached in the center of it. And so this I specifically had screwed onto the outside of my raised garden beds, so that way I could plant cucumbers all along the edges of the garden, and then they climbed up this. So I'm going to show you a picture of it during the growing season when I did have it up and running. But this is literally the cost of one 2x2 8-footer if you get the hardware store to cut it in half for you if it's 4 feet high, or you can get 2 of them and build it up to 8 feet. And then you can choose to put in chicken wire, but chicken wire is more expensive, or you can get this roping off of Amazon or in some garden centers. And I like the rope better than actual plastic mesh, because plastic mesh is definitely going to break down versus this is going to last you multiple years. So I definitely recommend going with a fabric or a like a rope grid versus a plastic grid, or else better yet, getting chicken wire and then stapling chicken wire between the two sides of it. All right, so those are 3 super quick and simple ways that you can trellis your garden and grow vertical, and it's never gonna break the bank. They're super easy supplies to get. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, leave a comment below letting me know that you enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and check out this video here. Bye.